Radio. It's Jobber Radio. It's Jobber Radio. Oh, wrestling podcast featuring Matt Stallion, Bomber Rap, Scott and Lee, and the one and only Peanut. It's Jobber Radio. Jobber Radio. It's Jobber Radio. It's Jobber Radio. It's Jobber Radio. Bitches.
The people in the crowd are also excited to see when women can't drive.
Yeah,
Oh
and they're
oh my god!
some of these people are clearly jobbers. Let me fucking finish it.
There it is.
I am in a bad mood and I'm trying to fucking say it.
Here it is. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Jobber Radio. We have some good stuff to talk about today. We got AEW to talk about. We got Elimination Chamber. We got a lot of stuff going on. And let's get right into it. First of all, I'm Jake, a.k.a. Bomber. We got a couple characters here today. First of all, Scott. Scott, how are you doing, man?
I've been better, but I'm here. I'm
I
good.
know you said you were in a bad mood. Hopefully we can cheer you up a little bit by talking a little bit of wrestling.
Been just in a bad mood all day. It's just
Hey,
it happens.
There. Oh yeah, hey, I've been in. Hey,
Is it just one of those wake up and like you woke up and you're like, well, fuck this day.
Kinda. Honestly, yeah.
This just happens sometimes. No, that's normal shit.
Yeah, it just kind of is just not great. Not feeling it. Never turn that corner. You know. So
Yeah.
well, there is Rab. Rab, how are you doing? You having a good day?
I'm on very, very little sleep because I stayed up late last night watching the returns come in from, North Carolina and Virginia and
political stuff.
Montana, Maine. They didn't call. Texas, they called it like 2:30 a.m. That's the last thing I saw call. They called Maine this morning.
That's where I'm at.
It's not. The Bernie Lucian apparently isn't happening so far. Apparently, this is what happens. The thing is that so like at 2 a.m. last night, Don Lemon, right? That's his name. The guy on the CNN.
Possibly, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Said something that was very, very, very succinct, and it's the electorate in general is not Twitter.
Oh, that's true.
If you're on Twitter,
I see what
you
you're
think,
saying.
Bernie is going to win, 8,000% of the vote.
Yeah.
But what happens? Y'all fucking young people who are going to listen to me talk right now, because you would assume that our listener base is also younger, so you would assume most of them or a lot of them go for Bernie.
Sure.
Y'all should have gone out to vote. Everyone complains on the internet and then doesn't go to vote. I tend to be fairly progressive, but I know what happened. Old people went to go vote, young people didn't go to go vote, and now they're all upset that everyone's falling behind Biden. Nah, man. Every state that had higher voter turnout was won by Biden because they had higher voter turnout by the African American community. They had higher turnout from people over 40s. They had higher turnout from white suburbans, white college educated suburbans, and they all voted for Bernie. All voted for Biden. They didn't vote for Bernie. Young people don't vote. They just go on Twitter and they give $25 and they feel like they did something.
Well, I'm glad to see you're fired up about something tonight. There we go. Let's have hopefully some of that fire for some wrestling coming up too. I actually did not.
They still wrestle?
Some people do. I actually didn't.
Wrestling's back.
I actually didn't vote myself because I just got here to Dallas, and I didn't really register yet. But don't worry, I'll be ready by November. So, anyway,
for Trump.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna. I don't know who I'm gonna vote for yet. I don't even know who the other person's gonna be. Anyway, we also have another character here, the other half of the Outsiders. Lee, how are you doing tonight?
Well, I don't know about all you slacktivists down there in the U.S., but much like a ugly neck tattoo, I'm here to stay. I ain't here to play. So let's get this going.
There it is. I think that's a pretty good segue right there. Talk about Revolution, AEW's pay-per-view that just happened this past weekend. Wow, I've seen a ton of great feedback. My one friend who has basically left WWE, he no longer watches it, just watches AEW. Surprise, surprise. He says it was one of the best pay-per-views of all time ever.
He's stupid as fuck.
Fucking hell.
Shout out to my man Alaska Brown out there. But
Yeah, stay in Alaska. Don't come back down here.
yeah, and I fought him in the JRPL, by the way, and I beat him by 1 point because we never fought each other. So got him. So anyway, the one thing, the tattoo, I noticed when I woke up, because I didn't get to watch the pay-per-view, I woke up, I had to go to work the next morning at like 3 a.m. and I loaded up Twitter to see, okay, let's check out the results, let's see what happened, let's see how good this pay-per-view was. And the whole main part of my feed was talking about Cody Rhodes' tattoo as opposed to the other stuff that happened. So I basically, to me, it seemed like the tattoo overrode how good of a pay-per-view it was, at least the next day.
In a way, it did during, at least. It didn't override the pay-per-view. It overrode the match.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Because
The
it's
pay-per-view-
it's a prison bitch tattoo.
Yeah, the pay-per-view stood well beyond that and was fine.
Mhm.
But in context, watching the show, going through, and we're like, is that like tape on his neck? Is that like, some have like on the shoulder and stuff. We're like, what is
Oh,
that?
sure, yeah.
Then we're like, is that, oh God, is that a tattoo? Oh, is that real? Like, is this, what is this?
Yeah.
And then we're trying to figure out, is it a state? What is it? Then we're like, oh God. And I wish the Discord was recorded because at one point I go, oh God, it's his logo. And everybody starts losing their shit, realizing, no. And like GMSG's hunting for footage of him at the C2E2 convention in Chicago. And he's like, he was wearing a scarf. You can see the top of it. It's real. And yeah.
He should have got that on his chest or his ass.
Like a
or
normal
someplace,
wrestler.
right?
His ass.
Well, the worst
Because-
part is people are looking at it and really analyzing it, and it's not good. Like the detail is not great at all. So
I mean, I guess you hang around the fucking mud show guys long enough, and they hook you up with their tattoo artists, and then you get a fucking neck tattoo. And
I said during the show as well, I said he's lucky that Brandy is who she is to like put up with that. She was one of the first people out there to say, I hate it.
I did see that, yeah, in the little
She's
post
the
show.
first professional to say, like, I hate it.
Yeah.
I wonder if Cody got a prenup, because if he did, he's in trouble if she decides to divorce him over that piece of shit.
Like it doesn't even look like it's like aligned right. There's so many things weird with it. Someone's already photoshopped Triple H with a Skull King cross tattoo. What it would look like? It
That's
looks
funny.
ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous. But the whole thing is the card was hot. It was going great. The matches were going strong. The women's title match was whatever, but it built toward the end. And then this match comes along, and all we could focus on was that eyesore.
And that seems like it sucks because that had such a good build going into it. Was, to me, it was one of the best built matches going into the
Agreed.
show.
Yeah. But the match didn't live up to it. And I said at one point, only Cody would go out there and distract from his hottest AEW match yet with this shit.
Rab, have you seen the tattoo yet?
Oh, I mean, yes. So
Okay. See, that's interesting. You haven't seen the show, but you've seen the tattoo. see?
As we were saving it for the show.
He's on Instagram.
I
He saw it.
That
Oh, that's right.
I don't follow. I haven't followed AEW at all. I only have so much time these days.
Sure.
Especially now that I'm working out every evening. I was fat. I'm trying to be less fat. And it takes a lot of time.
I need to do
So
that.
I can only follow so much wrestling, and if I'm gonna follow anything right now, it's gonna be the main WWE product and NXT, just to get ready for WrestleMania.
Right.
This is so I'm not really following so much with AEW, but the tattoo was everywhere.
Yeah.
I follow AEW. Most of what I know about AEW, I follow on Instagram, but I'm also on Reddit, on Squared Circle on Reddit and shit. And I saw more of the tattoo than I saw of the pay-per-view.
That's what I saw on Twitter.
Everyone's
the next
all
night.
about the tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Reddit, Reddit is as hardcore as they are about burning and thinking they're the same about AEW. They're all about AEW. They think everyone's all about AEW, but
Yeah.
even them, they're like, the fuck is with this tattoo?
I was going to say that to compare it to the whole the Bernie thing and stuff, where people think, oh, this is it. Then they realize, oh, no, that's just the insulated area. It's so much bigger than that. And wrestling's often like that. It's like the stuff about the tattoo. It didn't distract people saying, man, that show was weird because of the tattoo. It wasn't anything like that. Like, that show was great. Also, do you see that fucking tattoo? Like, it's both. They coexist.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that shouldn't be
Absolutely.
there. Like that. Why is that a thing?
Yeah.
It's like if it was on the back of his neck or just like straight up and down on his neck, I think people were like, man, that was dumb, but oh well. But it's like off center to the side, weirdly angled, awkwardly. Like what?
On
Bernie
that,
should get a hammer and sickle on his neck.
And he's not
my
like he ran out of room. Like he only has the dream tattoo on his upper pectoral, right? That's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just
why
dream.
why there? I don't get it.
well, I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of back and forth about it. Some people are like, well, it's his tattoo. He can do whatever he wants, which is true. I mean,
He himself said that it's his, like he wears a lot of brands and stands by them, and he stands by his own and wants to put it on himself. I'm like, fair, yeah, all right.
Yeah, put that shit on your arm.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but,
mean,
but why
I don't
there?
know.
Like, even angled like that, it's
I mean,
It is his body, and he does have the right to put it.
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Also, but we also have
And
the
I
right to question
be
it. Going,
fun.
Yeah, we do have the right to make fun of it. I myself am not a big tattoo guy. I don't have anything against like people getting tattoos, but it's just not my thing. So to me, that seems very like of all the places to get a tattoo, it seems really out there. Like one of our members in our Discord, Red, he got a tattoo on his arm, and it looks again. I'm not a tattoo guy, but his tattoo looks amazing. It's got like the Wolverine arms, the claws, and everything, and that looks
yeah,
great.
it's all different, like comic weapons is what the theme
Yeah.
was, and that I always think like a tattoo is something that's drawing attention and has a meaning of some sort. People will talk about that a lot. And wrestlers often talk about that, like their tattoos often signify something. Like I said, Cody has Dream on his chest
Oh yeah,
for like the American Dream. Okay. Jericho has like the F on his hand because that's the F for Fozzy, because the guy from Metallica has the M on his. There's always little reasons, even if they're silly. I don't know what the story behind this. It's this like it draws the eye. Okay, so what's the point of that?
well, I think it's
I
just,
stand by
yeah.
myself. That's not enough of a reason for me to understand why you did that there.
that.
You don't have to justify it. I just don't get it. And yeah.
Oh wow, that's very interesting. I'm browsing on AEW's website right now, and they have title history up there. And when I hover over like Jericho, like a little Pinterest thing like pops up over his picture. That's weird to me. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. But overall, okay, so for you guys, I guess we'll start with Scott. What was your favorite match from the Revolution show? Which you said overall it was a good show, right? You would give it a thumbs up overall?
Oh, 100%. Thumbs up all the way. The weakest match was the women's title match, honestly.
Okay.
It came after a hot match. I think it was the tag titles, and it was like
I heard that was a great match, the tag match.
it was just poor positioning. It's like no matter what followed this, it was going to have trouble, I think. But it came through, and honestly, it got a little sloppy, and that almost made it a bit better. Not for the I'm watching a car wreck, but the more case of like they're working here. They're trying to make this work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the tag title match was probably the most oh my god match, but it was also 30 minutes, and they could have cut out 5. We talked about this a lot during the Discord chat during it too. But you watch a lot of matches, and they go for the big spots, and they're avoiding finishers. Like we took Brock and AJ back in the day. One F5 did it, but he avoided 5 of them. But in this tag match, they were hitting the moves and kicking out. It's like, that was kind of realized it in that point that's kind of worse because it devalues everything.
Yeah.
At the same time, that match, it still was a lot of fun. I loved it. Same with Dijakovic and Keith Lee. Very similar of a match. Where it's just
where they like do everything. Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that was fine. It was great. It was great for what it was. It was fun, and the character work was fantastic. Everything was great.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think I preferred Cassidy and Pac for just the crowd being involved too.
Oh, so for your match of the night, you would give it to Pac and Cassidy?
I might. Honestly, it's a toss up for very different reasons. I said going in, I knew that I've seen Pac go with David Starr and guys like the whole nonchalantness thing is just as much of a gimmick as a dead man thing or these painless things where it's just like a mind game that they play. And that's all it is. And then when he busts it out, he can go. And the Pac match was perfect because he had a look on his face like, oh shit, you can actually do stuff? And now you tell that story about how he's going to take this guy lightly, but that means he's able to overcome it and back and forth. It was great. I knew he could go. I knew it would be great, and I knew it would go over with the crowd. And he's even more over now than before because he got legitimized a bit, where he's able to be so nonchalant because he's so good. He can fuck with you. That's the idea there. Now, is he actually that good? I don't know. Whatever. That's a different story. But that's how they played it, and it was great.
Yeah.
So both of those were great. I mean, Darby Allin and Guevara literally was only officially like 2-3 minutes, but it was overall 10. Awesome, crazy spot fest and stuff. The whole card was really good.
Yeah, I figured that would be a really good one.
Yeah. So, and really no bad decisions either from everything I saw. Like everything kind of seemed like that sounds about right. Like it worked out good, but yeah, honestly, it's easier to say that the 1 week match was the women's match. Oh, Hager and Rhodes opening was a bad call. They should have put that second with our Allen and Guevara first because that was hot as fuck. And that's how you should have started that card. It really felt like that's how they started the card because Goldust and Jack Swagger was kind of plotting and whatever. So
Okay. So Lee, what about you? Since you watched the show too, what was your, I guess, favorite match and least favorite match?
First off, I want to mention, for me, it's kind of like thumbs in the middle, leaning up. I didn't think the pay-per-view was that great.
Okay.
Probably my favorite match was still probably Cody MJF, just because it was the most wrestling out of any of the matches there for the most part. Like maybe alongside Dustin and Hager, but that one was a little too long and plotting for what they did, and there was a bunch of nonsense that didn't make sense, like fucking Swagger out there fucking making out with his woman and shit when no one knew who the fuck she was until they had to tell you in the commentary, which is just stupid.
That seems obvious,
the tag title match was pretty good considering who's in it. Like the fucking Young Bucks actually decided to fucking work for once instead of just doing stupid shit. So they actually sort of leaned into being heels a bit, which was nice. And I mean, Adam Page is pretty good anyway. Like he just kind of shines even with a bunch of goofs around him. But yeah, the MJF Cody was probably the best match overall. I really liked the Jericho Moxley match as well, probably just as much. Both of those matches were pretty good wrestling matches. Just what I'm looking for. Pac Orange Cassidy was absolute dog shit. I fucking hated it. I fucking hate Orange Cassidy. I fucking hate the gimmick. It made Pac look.
Oh, we're definitely losing you a little bit.
yeah, it started to break up
like
there.
a bitch.
Oh.
Orange
We got
Cassidy.
all we needed.
Yeah, there we go.
And I mean, the fucking, the idea that Orange Cassidy is this great mindfuck gimmick. No, it's not, because the guy gets his ass beaten all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. If he turned a gimmick on and then fucking switched into high gear and beat guys instead of just getting his ass handed to him week in and week out, being a fucking goof, then you might have a point. But no, he gets his ass handed to him. Then he switches on to being this great wrestler that everyone's talking about. Oh, wait until you see him wrestle, you'll change your opinion of him. And then he switches back to fucking goofball again, puts his fucking hands in his pocket, and he loses the fucking match. Fuck you. Fuck off. I can't take you seriously, and you made Pac look like a piece of shit.
So
I mean, I can barely take Pac seriously at this point now either. He's been so devalued now that it's pathetic.
So like I said, I missed watching the show live, but I did go back in because I was told by everybody, you got to go watch the Orange Cassidy match. So I finally found some stuff. I dug it up and I did watch the Orange Cassidy match.
And I'll say right now, Bomber, I even gave you that context of what I said too. Like it kind of played like this is what I even told you too. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people that were, there were people saying, oh, Orange Cassidy, like I'm a believer, like people that didn't like Orange Cassidy before this. It like he won them over, a lot of people, and
They
like
get it now, is what you could say for some.
and some of them were even saying like he's a future world champion. I'm like, whoa, hold on a minute there, Chief.
Yeah,
I gotta watch this.
Think of AEW. I could see it. Is it deserving? Probably not. But could you see it? Yeah.
So that was really the point where I was like, okay, I got to go watch this match. So I went and watched the match. I will say it was better than I anticipated, but I also don't think it was like this fantastic match. To me, the crowd reaction is what made it. Yes, he did his stuff, and I came to this conclusion of what I think about Orange Cassidy, how I feel about Orange Cassidy after this match.
Let's preface this. You don't like the comedy stuff a lot. Let's make sure the listeners know that.
It depends. It depends what the comedy stuff is. Like over the top,
Yes.
super fake stuff. I'm not big on that, but some comedy stuff, like I can get on board with.
Outright buffoonery is no good, but silly stuff is okay. I think we talked about that before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but so here's the thing. I almost think Orange Cassidy is getting over because of this push that I see going on, like in just overall like modern wrestling. Hey, like fuck the old school style. I feel like there is this like push, this movement of fuck old school, fuck pro wrestling, fuck wrestling, fuck all that. We want it our way. We want it fake. We want it it's not real. Kayfabe, it's stupid. Like all this kind of stuff. I feel like there is this push for that, and I feel like he is almost like this is becoming the symbol of that. So I feel that is why he is getting more reaction as opposed to it being good, as opposed to anything else. Like he seems to be the symbol of phony shit, I guess, is how I am kind of seeing it. Now, what he did in the match was decent. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying it was great. It was okay. But I think the crowd reaction overall is coming from this movement of fuck the old school way of wrestling, and that's how I see it.
I disagree completely.
Okay,
considering that a lot of fans don't even know what you're talking about. They just like what they like. It's not a movement so much as this. They like what they like, and they like that.
Well, sure. Like not when I say movement, I mean like a changing of eras of like modern wrestling as opposed to older school. What's up, Rab?
I kind of agree with Bummer. I do think a lot, and I think a lot of it has to do with the crowd we're talking about. We're talking about AEW fans.
Oh, it's changing in tastes. I'll get that, but you almost sound the way Bomber made it sound like it's a dedicated thing to fuck the old stuff.
I kind of think he's right.
Wrestling.
I don't know.
The thing is, I kind of think he's right. I think that AEW specifically has something built into their culture, not unlike I hate to go back to Bernie Sanders, but it's more about the internet. It's more about the kind of crowd you get from that sect of people, where there is kind of a movement, and it's true about Bernie Sanders. It's true about Donald Trump. It's true about a lot of these heavy internet politicians, but it's past politics. There is a culture these days of kind of fuck the establishment, fuck the old way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's, we're actually gonna hunker down and push the fact that we're different, and push us being different. And I think a lot of it is different to be different.
Like,
not
which
yes,
is not
this
always
is pop, not
good.
this is
Let's
popular. And I agree, it's not always good, but not this is popular because this is the different they chose. I think that this is the different that they were given, and they said, "Yeah, we're different. That's the one we got."
Yes, exactly. And I
kind of agree with Bomber.
And I'm not saying I hate Orange Cassidy or anything, but I think he is becoming the symbol of that, and that is why he gets like the biggest reactions on the shows he's on.
I think that there's a lot of this would never happen on Vince's show.
Yeah. Right before we started recording, Scott, you mentioned something about tonight. We're recording this on Wednesday, which is when AEW Dynamite airs. Moxley started the show off with a promo about, hey, we brought back pro wrestling. And
he was impassioned, and it was like, this is for the fans. This is it. This is different.
Yes.
You made it different. This belt represents everything different. We brought pro wrestling back.
Now,
my gut reaction was, it never went away.
And see, that to me was a straight dig at the WWE, which eliminates the word pro wrestling. So that it to me, it's all to, like I just said, and like surprisingly, Rab agreed with me for some reason.
It's very rare. I don't know how this happened.
Yeah, it's more of like a fuck, the mainstream, fuck WWE, fuck the old school ways of doing things overall. And I'm like I said, I didn't say it was bad. It was an okay match. The overall reaction is what made that match better. The Cassidy and Pac match.
Oh, the crowd was amazing for that.
Yes, they were exactly. And
a lot of it, I think this for me, a lot of it is you got the AEW people who literally will say fuck anything, not AEW. They
Mhm.
will literally badmouth stuff, not even knowing what it is. And
Sure.
I can't stand that.
Sure.
Because guess what? A lot of us in our Discord and on here and everything, like all of the wrestling, we will watch AEW, we'll
Yes.
watch WWE. I'm badmouthing AEW while giving it a solid 9 or 8 out of 10. Like, that show was great.
I heard.
They
Yeah.
still do things wrong, and I'm still going to bash it for the wrong things. Like, it's not just, oh, I love this show. After Super Showdown, people were like, man, AEW, can't wait for that. This made that better. No, it has no correlation at all. Stop thinking that way. It's not how things work. People can like both things. People can dislike both things. So the idea that people are just liking Orange Cassidy and this kind of movement of stuff, because fuck the other thing. No, it might just be like, I like this.
Yeah.
It could. That's it.
For some
Not
people,
fuck
sure.
that. I just like this.
It can be both.
Yeah, for some people, I agree, but I think the majority probably is the other way around. But I think some people could genuinely
I really
just like
think-
Orange
I really
Cassidy.
hope that they're not that negative. 'Cause if they are, fuck
I
them.
think they are, and I think a lot of the
Well, then fuck
enjoyment-
them.
And I still think they're enjoying it, but I think a lot of the enjoyment is because it's the antithesis of what would be happening on Raw.
But it's really not when you
Let's
really
hear-
look at it.
Let's hear what Lee's think. I haven't heard Lee chime in on this topic yet.
I thought that was Lee.
Plenty of
Damn it.
There's plenty of bullshit on Raw that's just as silly as Orange Cassidy.
Oh, sure, of
uh,
course.
But if they put Orange Cassidy on Raw, they would package him in a way that would be decidedly WWE centric in a specific way. But I mean,
I think there's a difference between silly and dumb.
well, I think it's all fucking silly and dumb.
Well,
but
sorry.
the thing is, there's this segment of fans for AEW that are fucking hypocrites that say no, we don't go for that silly bullshit that the WWE does. Instead, they go for this silly bullshit, which is bad. So it's like
That's what I was about to ask.
You can't have arguments with these people. It doesn't
AEW
matter.
is different. It presents it like a sport. It's realistic. And Glacier throws someone with mist.
Yeah.
Fuck off!
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. It's wrestling. Let it be it. Let it be what Cody wants it to be. Of just, it's a bit of everything. You get your serious stuff with an actual headbutt from Moxley to Jericho, busting him open with 7 stitches. Cool. You'll get that. And you can get your Orange Cassidy. You like whatever you like. It's awesome. It's a 3-hour show. Have fucking fun with it.
Yeah.
But the idea that they're going out there and we are so different. You are literally not so different.
Yeah.
The average viewer would probably see AEW and think, oh, is this WWE? And not be able to tell the difference until they notice the logos were different. Like, it is not that different. I'm
I was
so angry people keep saying it's different. It really is.
I was about to ask, like, if this Orange Cassidy stuff was going on in WWE, how bad would people hate it? I feel like if he was doing the same exact thing, obviously, I don't think that would straight fly there. Who knows?
Dude.
At this point, it could. But I'm saying
The crowd
they would hate
piss
it.
on it, and
Exactly.
they'd blame Vince even if he had nothing to do with it.
Thank you. Yes, they would. That's a good
They
point.
still blame Vince for all the stuff that's been happening, and he's not even fucking been there. Like, it's
True. By the way, just another side note, because I'm browsing AEW's website, they have some stuff wrong on here on their title history. The SCU, it says they won the titles at the Bojangles Coliseum in Charleston, West Virginia. That is not the case. Bojangles Coliseum was in Charlotte. Is the Charlotte Coliseum?
You're not keeping up with their stats and
They
records properly.
oh god, don't even start me on that.
Bojangles sucks. Bojangles is awful.
What are you
well,
doing right now?
they won
What are
it
you
in
doing right now?
Charleston, West Virginia.
Yes, but the Bojangles, they just have their
you
arena
like,
wrong.
You like Bojangles? Bojangles is garbage.
I fucking love Bojangles. Yes.
Popeyes, bro.
No, it's not. Is okay. See,
Popeyes, bro.
that's
So
that's not true.
The way to really look at though with the stuff about all the different characters and that, and Bomber, you'll relate with this one too because you brought it up. But Matt Hardy, was the hottest thing going in Impact. Love it or hate it, it was what it was. You can almost say he saved TNA to an extent in some ways. He
Sure.
gave it that last bit of lifeblood, and then he went on the Independents. He went to Ring of Honor. He came to WWE. There was some legal issues where he couldn't do the stuff right away. Then he could do it, but it wasn't the same. It was kind of watered down. Wasn't really right. Wasn't good. They didn't use him, and now he's left.
Yeah.
And he's already done a Free the Delete with the Young Bucks on it. So he's probably going to be AEW. It's going to happen in a matter of time, blah, 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 blah. And people are excited for him to do whatever. It's like, No, it's going to be the same thing you've seen for the past like 5 years.
Yeah, Bomber.
But you
Who was that artard you were talking to on Twitter this week who said, "Oh, it's going to get over bit like fucking hotcakes in AEW because it's so fresh." It's like it's not fresh. It was stale years ago.
It's not as easy just to do it as you'd think. And the thing with Orange Cassidy is AEW is good at getting independent gimmicks on a national level. And his independent gimmick is the nonchalant guy. At first, they had him as the guy who didn't care, and that didn't work. That was too far. That was dumb.
Yeah.
And I know Lee's probably wanting to throw me in a river for saying all this stuff, praising it. But doing the kind of the gimmick where it's like, I can do this stuff and it'll surprise you. And Pac played with that, and it worked well. I thought it was fun. It worked for both guys. They both got over. Whatever works. The crowd loved it. It's what it is. But they can make that work. Others, it takes them literally 6 months, like this Dark Order stuff. They're finally maybe figuring out, oh, we know how to make this gimmick work. So they're
because they saw it on Day in the 90s.
Yeah, they can take some of this stuff, they can adapt it, they can make it work. They'll take something like Matt Hardy's Broken Stuff and just let them fucking do it, and that's the best thing for that gimmick. The Vince filter, for better lack of a phrase, doesn't work on everything. And you do end up watering it down and getting it samey, and it doesn't quite apply.
Yeah. But wait, who do we think is going to be the higher power? I mean, Exalted One.
Well, the biggest guess is Luke Harper right now, or Brody Lee, whatever you want.
I'm seeing a lot of Matt Hardy suddenly.
I mean, it could be Matt Hardy.
Yeah. Oh, not even suddenly. They've been saying it's going to be him since like January.
Well, today, All Elite tweeted out today is Wednesday.
Yeah, you know what that means.
Yeah, you know what that means.
Which is Brody Lee. He's been saying that for a while, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, but AEW tweeted that out today.
About the other one. So,
and every time Matt tweets something, AEW tweets a Dark Order thing. So,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure
that's all
Jake
Mr.
the Snake, guys.
Or it could be
Jake
the Snake showed up.
They've already had their segment and they didn't reveal it, so there's that. But
there's also something that just took place on AEW, because, like I said, this is going on while we're recording this right now, and there is a new trio that formed tonight. I want to get your guys right here gut reaction, called Death Triangle, I believe. It is the Lucha Bros and Pac.
I like it
as a trio.
I mean, it sounds fun.
They haven't used the Lucha Brothers for about a year now, so I'd like them to start.
What do you think, Lee? What are your gut reaction?
So Pac has been so devalued now as Orange Cassidy's bitch that now he needs these two other bitches to fucking prop him up.
Yeah. Well, apparently they beat up the best friends in Orange Cassidy when they formed, by the way.
They beat up some jobbers.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, there we go. Anything else, you guys? What is any other takeaways from Revolution before we move on to some other stuff?
No, I would like to say, can we start calling AEW fans AE Bros the same way we call Bernie fans Bernie Bros?
I love how you're on this. Hey, buddy, come on, Zuko. Come on, bud. Stop barking.
Hey, Zuko.
I love. Hey, now, hey, buddy, come on, bud. Here's
the only difference is the only difference is that Bernie's actually got a progressive agenda, whereas AEW is severely regressive.
Severely.
Yeah, their attendance are going down too. Like, I think their last attendance was the weakest one they've had.
Well, their ratings are, at least from what they report, are still steady, I guess.
Yeah, but they got to be able to sell these shows out to be able to keep them going.
True.
They're going to start having smaller arenas. They can't keep doing Nitro shows. So
I'll give you that. I will give you that. Yeah. Okay, so we already kind of brushed on the Matt Hardy thing. Who knows? He probably will end up in AEW. He also posted he sent on a tweet with a picture of the, I think, Impact owner or somebody like that, some Impact head honcho guy. So some people were like, "Oh no!" Like instantly, the whole comment section was, "Don't go to Impact, go to AEW. Don't ruin this." I'm like, well, I mean, I don't think he could go there, but I think he's just.
Let's just sum up what that kind of reaction is. Fucking marks. It's called a misdirect, you idiots.
Or he just doing something that he couldn't do earlier when he was with WWE.
Yeah,
he
with a misdirect. Like he's going to AEW. That means it. No, it doesn't. You really think that? Fucking Christ.
Yeah, it was like a genuine kind of like he really likes Impact Wrestling and stuff, and he really liked what he did there and stuff. So it was more of like a tweet just saying that.
WWE's farewell to him was like 3 paragraphs, and it was one of the best I've ever seen them do.
Yes.
Did you read that? It was like, We wish him well. He's done so much for the universe. They love him. We love him. He did all this stuff. He went independent, came back. It's a full circle story. We wish him well and everything but the best in his future endeavors. I'm like, wow.
And to
That's the
answer
most glowing one I've ever seen.
to answer Lee, the person that I got into it on Twitter with was somebody saying, "Oh, Vince fucking hates Matt Hardy. Why do they hate Matt Hardy?" After like commenting on that exact comment. So I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, yeah, that was
That's
Yeah, those people aren't even. I wouldn't even
it's
call
fun.
them marks. They're worse than marks. They're very tribalistic fucking goons who just always want to go with some sort of weird narrative against the company they don't like. Like I'm sure it'll be pretty soon. You'll have people be going, "Oh, actually, Matt Hardy's just a secret plant from Vince McMahon to ruin AEW from the inside."
That's Vince Russo talking there.
could you not like the idea that AEW is all sunshine and rainbows? There's going to be people who are tired of the fact that they had an anniversary poster and it was Cody, Omega, Page, the Bucks, Jericho, and Moxley. The same guys that have been the marquee guys the entire year they've been around.
Mm-hmm.
They're making new stars, but they're not headline stars. They're not in the... They're literally like, eventually someone like Sammy Guevara is going to be like, I've been doing this shit for 3 years and I've gotten nothing. I've gotten exposure, but I've not gotten elevated. I should be the guy. The Bucks are like, no, not yet. And it's literally the same thing all over again. It's going to fucking happen and they're going to start leaving. It takes time for that to happen, but it's not going to be perfect forever. Please, people need to stop thinking that.
And speaking of making new stars and stuff, AEW just brought in or assigned, I should say, Chris Archer or Lance Archer. Sorry.
Yeah, or Lance Hoyt.
Yeah, Lance Hoyt. Yeah, if you want to go back to his old school stuff, what are your thoughts? I don't know how familiar you guys are with that. I know Lee probably is pretty familiar with him.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
He's one of the best big men in the business, that's for sure. He's a good get. I mean, he had a nice little run when he returned to New Japan there after he had a neck injury for a while. He had that tag team with Davey Boy Smith Jr. Won the tag titles over there multiple times, and he's a good monster. Like if they bring him in and they push him as a monster, he'll get over. He was definitely really over in his last little run in New Japan. He sort of reinvigorated himself.
The singles title feud with Moxley.
Oh, the U.S. title, yeah. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. I saw his match at
I'm not as familiar with him. He's a good get, but also they don't need him. But they're operating like Vince used to, where get him anyway. I have the hottest roster. That's good, but they don't need him. Pentagon Jr. should be a main eventer, and he's not. Like they're misappropriating a lot of talent, I think, right now.
Yeah. Well, they're I don't know. Well, he's now in this trio, the Death Triangle, so we'll see where they go with that. I assume they're probably going to feud with Best Friends in Orange Cassidy for a little bit. I guess maybe.
Right,
I don't know.
They already have been.
True. I don't know.
Keep that feud on AEW Dark, please.
Maybe not. I'm not sure. We'll see where it goes. I'm the only time I really saw, besides his super little bit I saw in New Japan, is his stuff in Impact where he was Lance Hoyt, and that was long time ago.
Back when. Yeah.
And he was, I will say, he was not good back. He was
far removed from Lance Hoyt. That's for sure.
So I'm interested to see how he's progressed since then, because I did not like him in Impact back in the day.
It's interesting because people claiming that they knew he had joined AEW weeks ago when the rumor came out, and it's like they're the kind of people that'll see something where it's like, oh, Matt Hardy denies going to Impact. Oh, that means he is. No, it's maddening to see the reactions people have sometimes to stuff, and just thinking that they know things. No, you don't. You really don't. I'm not saying I do either, but that's the thing. I know I don't know what the stuff is. So I heard the rumor.
That is one of my big things I notice, like online and stuff, where when I react to stuff. I will be the first to tell you I don't know everything about wrestling. I don't, but I mainly make fun of people who pretend they do. That's almost like my gimmick is I get on people that pretend like they know everything. That is like what I do.
Though there's two things to that. First off, a lot of people don't know if that's a gimmick, if you want to call it that.
Well, not a gimmick, I guess, but you
know what I mean?
Just how
but the second,
react.
We can talk about Super Showdown with that and fucking Ricochet and how
Correct.
You and I both agree he's not being buried. And yet one guy you were on Twitter was like, oh, Trevor's going to get repackaged. I'm like, the fuck you calling him Trevor for?
Yeah.
Like I don't get that. Like, oh, I call Undertaker Mark. You're a kayfabe news article, you idiots.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
are
The
you
guy
doing?
said poor Trevor, and I just put a GIF that did the Snoop Dogg who GIF,
Yeah.
and he just said that's his first name, and I was like, oh,
So-
cool, you're on first name basis with him. I hear you, man.
I said this in the Discord when Ricochet lost in the 24/7 title match on Raw to Riddick Moss, who is literally
Yep.
an NXT bring up who is just there. And Ricochet just lost to the champ, and now this. It's like, oh god, he's buried. I'm like, no, he's not buried. Oh yeah, he is. I'm like, here's the danger. They have a story. They're literally doing something, but this could be so damaging so quick that people don't care about the story and they give up on it, and you end up where he's buried.
Yeah.
But right now, what you're basically telling me is Luke Skywalker got told he can't go get those droids, and you've written the movie off because he's a nobody. No, where's it going to go from here? That's what this is. That literally is step one. It's step two, technically, because he got squashed to Lesnar, now this. So we've seen 2 parts of it in 3 days, and you've already given up. But you want long-term. This is the...
You know what? That's a good point with the whole Skywalker type deal. That's pretty good.
Right? It's
Yeah,
just...
I didn't think about something
People
like
want longer stuff. Be patient a little bit
Yeah.
and just try to see where it goes.
And they've
you're
already-
going to watch it anyway, so you're going to find out. And then when they do something in a month, you're like, oh, they turned it around. That was probably the plan all along. Or they did adapt like Brian or something. It's
Yeah, and I got news for you too. Ricochet's probably enjoying his job right now because he's making a lot of money, and he's not taking as many stupid risks as he did on the mud shows for all those years that he toiled away in either. So he's going to have a nice little, if he's smart, he's going to have a nice little nest egg by the time his career ends up, finishes up. So you can go fuck yourself if you think Ricochet's in a bad spot right now.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that, because Heath Slater had that for a while, and Kurt Hawkins, these guys, like, oh, they're getting jobbed out. I wonder how they feel about that. Probably pretty good with that paycheck. Probably feels pretty good. Might suck that they're losing on TV, but it's not a real sport.
If you listen to Hawkins' interview on Sam Roberts' podcast, which I always suggest people listen to Sam Roberts' podcast, he's like one of the best interviewers out there. So if you're looking for good wrestling interviews, hit up his podcast. But Hawkins was the first one to jump out there and say, dude, I love what I'm doing. I'm being used. I have a purpose. This was during his losing streak, by the way. He was like, I go out there each night. People care about my matches. They want to see me win, and they always see me lose at the end, but people care about my matches because I have something going on. And he was totally fine with it. I mean, it's just...
I remember a comment where Finn Balor opened a card, and people were like, oh, he's curtain jerking. That sucks. And Cody, not even with the company anymore, defended him. He's like, no, opening the show is one of the most important things you can have. That's a lot of pressure, and they have a lot of trust in him.
Well,
I know you want him to main event, but this is like, don't be all poor Finn.
Yeah, Seth Rollins was opening shows for a long time. I mean,
yeah,
because he was one of the more exciting guys out there. But
this is a problem with how the WWE has conditioned its fans to look at the people on the roster. They have this, this idea that everybody on TV, on WWE TV, is a star. And it's like, no, some of these people are clearly jobbers. The problem is you've given them a personality, you've given them a gimmick, you've given them an angle. So now they're stars as well, and they're supposed to be sort of on equal footing with everyone else when that's not how wrestling works. You need people who are going to lose. You need people who are going to lose a lot. So my only problem with that really is they give the jobbers too much. Like back in the day, jobbers were just jobbers. They're the fucking tomato cans you throw out on the card to get beaten. I would actually like Heath Slater and Kurt Hawkins and all these other guys. I'd like them a lot better if they were just thrown out there as nobodies and jobbed. It gets bad when you have like Heath Slater and he's got his gimmick of one man band baby and all this bullshit like that stuff is grating on my nerves. But if Heath Slater was just getting out there and he wasn't getting an entrance or anything like that and he was just getting beaten, I'd be way more behind that because he's a good jobber.
Yeah, and WWE's been doing that since what? I think when Raw started, that's kind of that was their way to make it seem important. Where
it's more Attitude Era.
Yeah,
when they started really doing that. When
I remember back, like you'd watch in Canada, we had Wrestling Challenge and like Superstars, a Cavalcade, were the weekend shows, and it was Undertaker versus some guy, and cool. And then you'd have maybe a match of like, oh, it's Heart Foundation and Strikeforce. Okay, a real match, the marquee. And then with Raw, it was like, oh, I remember watching it. It was like, oh, it's Mr. Perfect and Marty Jannetty. That's a real match. Then it was another real match, another real match. I'm like, these are all real matches. What? This is a real show. And it's been that way since like the 90s. And that's just how it is now. Go watch NWA Power. Yeah, you'll see proper jobbers that work and get the guys over right. And it works well. Just WWE and AEW, let's be clear, don't do that. The Ring of Honor, like, nobody does that anymore. So
shout out to Zicky Dice though, huh?
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
it came out of nowhere. NWA television champion now. That's fun stuff. I love his promos.
That guy's dedicated too, man. Like I was looking at his background and stuff, and like he was just this big fat ass punk rock singer, and he's gotten himself in like really great shape, and he works fucking hard, and he's got a good gimmick, and he's entertaining.
Yep. But so okay, let's go back to the whole Ricochet Super Showdown type deal. Rab, did you end up watching Super Showdown? Or no, never mind. I forgot you don't do Saudi shows.
No, I didn't. I don't do Saudi shows.
Sorry about that. So I guess you at least heard the news.
Yes, I know everything that happened.
Brock Lesnar squashed Ricochet. He straight up did. There's no denying that. Do you have an issue? First of all, we'll touch on that first before we move on to the main event that happened. What are your thoughts on the whole Ricochet type deal? He did lose to Brock, and then he lost to, what the fuck's this guy's name? Riddick, the new guy,
Riddick Moss.
Riddick Moss.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have any feelings or anything or thoughts on that at all?
I believe that Ricochet especially is in a position right now where it kind of makes sense to have him lose for a little bit so that he can win later.
Okay.
Now he's not going to win the title. Of course, he has to get squashed by Brock. He has to. He's not at that level.
That's true. I mean,
I will say right in there, you could have made him be a bit of the level of a guy who is more than that, because he could have bounced around like a Ricochet and done a bit and gotten a little bit of offense, but still gotten taken out.
I will say
he got 0 offense, and that was like, oh.
Yeah, he did get 0. See, I feel indifferent about it because we know Brock is good with smaller guys. We know he's good with Daniel Bryan. We see what he did with Finn Balor. We know he can have those good matches, and I feel Ricochet is on the Finn Balor plane. Not necessarily on the Daniel Bryan, I don't think, but I think he's definitely, on par with Finn Balor. And at the same time, Brock is going into WrestleMania, going to defend against a guy who is a fucking monster beast that at least looks like one, Drew McIntyre. And if he went out there and struggled right before we go to WrestleMania with Ricochet, I mean, I can see why he got squashed. I don't feel bad about it, but also I could see the other side of if Ricochet put up a good fight. I could have seen both.
You can easily have him put up a good fight and still not have Brock struggle.
True. I mean, I guess that's
like
true.
He closed him out of a drop kick, hit a few Germans, and F5'd them. But he could have easily done a few other moves, knocked them down, gotten up, and just Brock is literally like, fucker keeps knocking me around. Like, and just like goes in there and then mauls him a bit. Like, it could have been, instead of 3 minutes, it could have been 5.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
I mean, I have no problem with that.
What's the difference? Yeah. So, but I get with the story they're doing for him. Literally, the joke I said was, "Oh, he's gonna ricochet and bounce back."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
and the whole thing, he ended up losing to Riddick Moss the next night, who I can see is, or not the next night, but on the next Raw. And that's back-to-back losses for Ricochet. And people immediately, like you said, they've already made up their mind. Ricochet is buried. People have already fucking made up their mind, which is unfortunate.
He's done something wrong. He's gotten in trouble. What could it be? There's all these different
Vince hates him is what I got into a very long-winded, I'm not here to talk about all my Twitter bouts, but I got into a long-winded thing with the dude.
Sure.
And literally, I won't go into detail on all of them. Wink, wink.
But I thought that was the whole point of this show.
My Twitter arguments, yes, they are. But like Vince hates Ricochet. And I'm like, look, Ricochet. I went back and like looked at the research for a month and a half, 6 straight weeks. Ricochet won every match, and then he lost.
Make him look strong, yeah.
And then he lost. He did lose a squash to Brock, who's the world champion, and then he lost to an up and coming guy that they're trying to make a name of. And I'm like, if that is what you define as buried, I don't know. I mean, he's what 5-1 in his last 6 weeks. I mean, come on.
And also to think of that where people are saying Vince is mad at him. How do you know that? Oh, because he got buried. Okay. How was that proof?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fucking back it up. Yeah.
So now that he's not the only person that people are talking about is buried right now. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. I know Lee's got a lot to say about this one. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, lost in the main event, lost his title to Goldberg in a quick match. A very questionable jackhammer. Just mainly looked like a suplex, just a vertical suplex. Okay, let's just get into it. I guess, Lee, let's hear from you first. What are your thoughts on how this went down? And what are your thoughts on Goldberg as the champ, the Universal Champ again?
Goldberg's the bigger name. He's the bigger draw. Bye-bye Doink the Clown 2020.
Oh, my God.
Just get him the fuck out of matches. If you want to do fucking segments and stuff like that, go ahead. But no matter how you shine up a turd like Bray Wyatt, he's still going to be Bray Wyatt, mediocre worker in the ring. He's all gimmick, and it just sucks. And I'll even take broken down Goldberg over the fucking Fiend at this point.
Wow. So that's why I wanted to start with you, because I think you are the more of the odd man out in the group here with that one. Me and you we got back and forth before about how I don't think really Bray Wyatt's a bad, in-ring performer. I know he's definitely more gimmick than anything, but I really don't have a problem with his in-ring stuff. The Fiend character, you could go on all day about how, how he just no-sells everything.
How many more chances are they going to give this fucking guy?
But since he was over,
he was very.
I'm sorry. This is the hottest of takes that Lee is coming with.
Yeah.
Cool, great. That's what makes good. It's good that we don't agree all the time. Mm-hmm. That everyone doesn't agree all the time. But I mean, I could not agree less. And I think most of the WWE universe also disagrees. He was over. What do you mean? How many chances they got to give him? He was doing well. They took it from him because Saudi princes don't know who he is.
That's true. I mean, he did win the title in Saudi as well. He did beat Seth Rollins in Saudi. But I see what you mean. I know. I'm just playing devil's. I know what you mean. Yes, Goldberg is the massive name compared to the two for sure. So I guess Rab. So you don't have a problem with Goldberg winning because he's the bigger name, or
no? I think it's dumb. They continue to. I mean. Is it dumb? Do they care? They have a bajillion dollars. They just don't give a fuck anymore. Whatever. But I mean, they're for the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, however many years since they haven't had any whatever, they've been mortgaging their future, especially since Cena left. And they've been trying with different guys, but at this point, especially ever since the Saudi shows, because they just got so much money, and since the Fox contract. There's they don't have to build stars, they don't have to build anything or whatever, so they just continue to mortgage their future. You can't bring Bray Wyatt back in 10 years to do this kind of thing because no one will give a fuck. You're gonna have to bring Goldberg back again. You're gonna have to bring 84-year-old Undertaker back again in 10 years.
Oh yeah,
to do this kind of shit because they just keep building the same ancient fucking guys forever as the top. The S tier. Or
yeah.
S tier is always gonna be just ancient, slow, rumbly, starting to get weak, just motherfuckers, winded, just old winded people. So in 10 years we're gonna be watching fucking Qatar Showdown number 6. Because I'm sure we'll be doing the whole despot fucking ring. In 10 years, whoever they can get the fucking money from,
maybe,
and we'll be watching the fucking Undertaker again beat some fucking wrestler that they got from some actual wrestler, and he'll lose to the fucking Undertaker. Not that he's not a wrestler in the past, but in fucking 10 years, Undertaker's gonna be knocking people over with his fucking walkers and shit. He's gonna do the whole. He's gonna do the spot where he falls and then he gets back up, but he's gonna need people to help him back up. He's going to have to signal and, there's some people dressed in black and we're going to have to pretend they're not there. We're going to help him up. Maybe some guys in green screen suits and they'll wipe it out, and then he's going to win the title at fucking Qatar, blood on the sand, whatever they fucking.
He's going to have a support.
That's a good name for a show.
Jesus fucking Christ. No, it's stupid. They continue to mortgage their future on this nonsense.
Yeah,
and they will continue to do it for the rest of my life until they have reason not to, because they have $1 billion.
they don't want people to get over on their own. They want to build stars that they've made, pal. And they're not making any stars. I mean, sure, the Fiend gets the pop for his fucking entrance, but goddamn, then he starts wrestling like Bray Wyatt, and everyone just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'd be nice if they turned the lights on.
Yeah. Well, they started
Yeah,
to.
but
They have lately. Yeah.
But the fucking lighting isn't even the issue, even though it makes the matches look like dog shit.
No, they dropped that in January. So
yeah, but the matches are still boring. And when Bray Wyatt's wrestling, no one gives a fuck.
Well,
Sure, he's got great promos, he's got great entrances, he's got a great gimmick he's wearing, but when he's wrestling, no one gives a fuck. When the Undertaker wrestles, people still give a fuck.
same with Goldberg. I mean, I know hardcore fans like us and a lot of other like our listeners and everybody that hangs out with us. I know they hate Goldberg so much at this point because he's older and everything. But man, I'm telling you, I have friends that came back. The last time Goldberg came back, I had friends that never watched they stopped watching wrestling way back in like high school or whatever during the time with Goldberg. When he came back, they started watching again, and even after he left, they kept watching. They're like still watching now. They're
You're talking about the first. You're talking about the first time he came back.
Not
like 2-3 years ago.
Sorry, yes, 2 or 3 years ago. The run with Brock in the Universal title that time, not the one with the Rock back in the day. No.
Yeah, I don't. In the last few years.
Yeah, the last few years, not this time.
I mean, I'll even give that props. That was for a long time. That was the first live Raw I had watched in a while to watch Goldberg come back. So I mean, I'll give you that.
And the show,
but at the same time, I'm gonna have to take him in the death pool next time because he's gonna die in the ring.
Yes, that is going to be coming up at some point. I'm sure. We'll see what happens when we get to our next death pool pulls. But I don't know, man. I can see both. I see both sides of it when I look at it. Yes. Is Goldberg going to go out there and put on a good match? No, that's never even the point. People get so frustrated. Well, it's going to be a bad match. Like, well, it's not there to be a good match. It's there to be like an attraction, there to be like a match that people, they want to see the names. They want to see the superstar.
But you can complain about that. You can say, but I don't.
Mm-hmm. You can.
I mean,
that's what the other matches on the card are for, though.
I understand why it happened. That doesn't mean I'm supposed to be happy about it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I get
why polling places in black and poor neighborhoods are all getting closed, taking this back to politics in Texas, why they closed 172 polling places in lower income neighborhoods, but only closed like 7 in upper income neighborhoods. I know why. Doesn't mean I have to be happy about it.
There you go. By the way, I'm on Twitter as we're doing this show, and I see on the right side trending I don't like Biden is trending right now on Twitter. But anyway, sorry.
I mean, the biggest problem, yes, the Goldberg thing's an attraction, and it's going to draw people. I think the biggest issue, and if you're strictly talking how the business should work. And I guess this doesn't really apply to the WWE anymore because they don't run as a wrestling company anymore. But the way the business should work is you don't put your world title attractions. You just don't do it.
I can
put
agree with that.
You put them on guys who are over, and you have title feuds. You don't have title feuds of guys who are just part-timers. But then again, Brock's a part-timer. So
yeah, but
Brock's a different part-timer.
But Brock is like amazing, though. Yeah, Brock is amazing. I know that probably catches a lot of like eye rolling and stuff, but Brock is like fucking great. I know people think he's not, but Brock is fucking, in my opinion, is fucking great.
Well, I mean, I think even most people who are sick of Brock don't think, here's this old guy who can't breathe in the ring.
Well, yeah, definitely not. He's not. He's really not that.
It's old, a little different. It's a little different because
when he gets all pink, you don't think he's gonna die.
Yeah, but I would watch a Brock match a million times over again of a Goldberg match. I mean, that's just the way that is. But I don't know. I can see both sides of it. I do see how it can alienate a lot of the hardcore fans, which it has, and of course it will. And no matter what you're going to do, I say, no matter what you're going to do that. Even with Eric Rowan, we talk about alienating fans and people hating shit. He finally revealed what was in his cage the other night on Raw, and it was a fake-ass Walmart bought looking little fake spider thing. And yes.
You know what it looks like? It looks like those. You've ever seen those like scare tactics videos?
Yes.
On the internet where they put like the big fake spider legs on a dog and then they send it after people down a tunnel and shit.
Yes.
It's exactly what it looked like.
Yes. It didn't look good. And I don't know. It was a letdown. Of course, it was a letdown. And I made the post that I don't think no matter what it was people were going to shit on anyway because they worked themselves into a spot where it's just I guarantee you they didn't really know what they were doing. And
no, it was a dumb gimmick.
Yeah, it was. And no matter what, it was going to be a letdown. Even if it was something great, people still would have fucking hated it. That's just the way.
If the thing in the cage was a personality that people could connect to, then you might have something going on. But they were never going to put that in the cage.
That's true. But either way, it's the whole Saudi thing. The overall show, I got to watch a good chunk of that show before I had to go to work because it was on a crazy hour. I thought the show was pretty decent. The ending was, it was what it was. People in the crowd were fucking excited to see Goldberg win. I'll say that. But that's the Saudi crowd.
The people in the crowd are also excited to see when women can't drive.
Yeah,
oh my god!
And they're
oh my god!
And to be fair, the people in Saudi Arabia are just now getting the Monday Night Wars on TV.
I mean, maybe.
So they just been introduced to Goldberg.
Yeah, they also just got the Friends, and they all agree that they were on a break. So they're not all bad.
Will Rachel and the other dude hook up? What's going to happen?
Though I mean. They all do also think Rachel should be taken out, up to the wall and stoned.
They're at the record point. They're at the point where
because she's a whore.
Yeah, and they're really really getting tired of these extra seasons of Seinfeld that are going on. It's just like they don't like anybody on Seinfeld.
Oh my god, Seinfeld's amazing. These people need to fucking.
But the Jews.
Oh, okay. I see where you went with that one. Okay.
Yeah, the whole point.
Ross's ex-wife and that lesbian dead in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia is a terrible place.
It's a real bad place.
So I will not fight you on that one. It is probably not the best of places. I will say that. But they did have a women's title match.
Have a literacy program.
They did have a women's title match though.
We're moving on. I was going to talk about the Goldberg stuff, but you never even came to me, Bomber.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you got? What do you got to say about the Goldberg stuff?
Other Canadian.
Because I'm the one guy who didn't hate it. You said everybody hated it? Yeah.
No. You enjoyed the Goldberg winning.
So what I was going to say, because a lot of people talked about how they never should have put the belt on the Fiend in the first place, because this is all they did with it. These are people who are reacting like the Fiend should never lose. First off, it's wrestling. Grow the fuck up.
It's not that he should never lose. It's that
no. They legit had that reaction. No one should beat him. And then they had the reaction, he shouldn't have ever wrestled. He should have just been a character. It's like, okay, well, how far do you want to go with this to get your perfect thing? But of all the people to beat him, it's Goldberg, who is a destroyer. That's his thing. It's okay. Like, I devalued the Fiend. No, it's Goldberg. Of all the people to do it, he proved he could.
It should have been Bruno Sammartino.
I'm with you. I am with you 100% though on the Goldberg as like that. That's the same thing with the Brock.
Bruno showed he could be dominant.
God damn it.
So it should be Bruno.
That goes to the whole Brock and Ricochet. Like, he should have put up a better fight. I mean, in real life, Brock would have probably completely fucking ass smashed Ricochet. So I mean, I can see
Brock clotheslined him out of a drop kick.
Yeah, it was awesome. By the way, I love that. That was great.
The thing, okay, so with Goldberg and the Fiend, like the idea, like to put it in perspective to what Lee said about jobbers, and how certain people just have that aura where they can beat anybody, and WD doesn't have that. They do. It's called the roster, and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is the guy, and everybody else are his jobbers. That's how they portray him. Goldberg is along those lines in a way.
Because he's a big draw.
And not that. That's not what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that you're beating him. It's same like John Cena. You can't really beat this guy. He's on another level, is how he's been portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
And Goldberg is this ageless destroyer that can just come back and obliterate you, including Brock Lesnar, in 2 or 3 minutes. The 5-minute Mania match is one of the best 5-minute matches ever. Is it technical? No. But it's just like a car wreck, and it's great in its own way.
Yeah, I like
right?
that match a
like
lot.
that's what Goldberg matches are. I don't think anybody thought that Goldberg and The Fiend was going to go longer than 5 minutes, no matter what the outcome was. No one expects Goldberg to go longer than 5. Like Rab said, watch the interview afterwards. He could barely breathe.
I saw that.
Like
I bet at this point his wife doesn't even expect him to go more than 5 minutes.
Probably not. So Goldberg, Universal Champion. I think he's the first Hall of Famer to win a world title, technically. I think he's the first one to do that. That's a thing. He's the oldest now, aside from like McMahon with the ECW title and blah, 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 blah. But he's the bigger draw, obviously. Now, I don't hate on Bray Wyatt. I don't hate on the gimmick. I like the Fiend stuff. It's what it is. To each their own. And people are like, oh, they're taking away spots. I think we saw that in the Discord bomber. They're taking away spots from NXT guys. I'm like, most of it's NXT guys now, for crying out loud. They're, aside from like 5 names, they're all NXT guys. But it's WrestleMania, and it's been this way since The Rock came back. It's been almost 10 years. So the fact that it's AJ Styles and The Undertaker, Randy Orton and Edge, Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. Yeah, Brock Lesnar's the old guy in that. It's old versus new. It's Goldberg and Roman Reigns. It's just how it works. And people are like, oh, it shouldn't be that way. Okay, maybe not. But don't be surprised every year when it is. It's every goddamn time.
I don't know about you.
And it's not bad. These are all fun matches.
I was about to say, I don't know about you, but I heard the psh.
I know we've been waiting to hear what you want to say about Undertaker for a while, Rab. I know.
I really did it.
I know. But we live when Taker showed up in Saudi and won the prestigious Tuwaiq Mountain Trophy to look like a glowing Mountain Dew ice sculpture.
The aggro crag from Guts.
I was going to say, they stole that shit from the aggro crag.
It looked like if you go in a video game, it's like a save point. Like you go there and you get your thing.
Yeah.
He won that trophy.
Saudi Arabia just got, Nickelodeon Guts.
Yeah.
What a fucking great show. I love Guts.
Like,
absolutely.
The fact, like, I have said this before, Phenom and Phenomenal, I'm on board with it. I know you've not wanted to see Undertaker. You haven't wanted to see Undertaker wrestle matches since before I knew you.
That's true.
True
And
story.
yet, it's 100%.
Yeah.
And yet, I'm like, I'm on board, because you know what? AJ is good. The smaller guys can make these bigger, older legends work. They're safe. They can make it work. It's great. Unlike Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara killing themselves on apron dives, Ricochet is doing work smarter, not harder. He's making it work out well.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's getting his ass beat, but he's going to last longer now.
Yeah, AJ Styles isn't going to dump Undertaker on his fucking neck.
No, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. And it's not be great. I'll take that back. But it's going to be a fun moment. I'll say that. The whole thing with Goldberg, did they shit on the Fiend with that? Literally, when you watch that moment, people are like, oh, they buried the Fiend. No, he got offense on Goldberg a couple times, and he stood right back up, angry, and left. Like, in the black, and he was gone. No, he got up. He got up from 4 spears and a jackhammer. If you call that buried, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And I think
he got beat by a guy who beats people like you.
And I think
that's who he is.
I think he even put on Twitter like he didn't even care about the belt or something like that, which is kind of like
he kind of spun it like this was been in my way. Now to get back to what's proper.
Yeah, he's like this. I didn't even want this. Like basically, like I didn't even want this shit. So now I can get back to what I want to do.
And he posted a picture of a tattoo he has that was inspired by Goldberg. He probably lived his childhood dream. You assholes.
I mean, that's
like God damn it, guys.
Yeah.
But you know everything. He's buried. They hate him.
And
the Fox people hate him, was what I heard.
The Fox people?
networks hate him. I'm like, they literally were in the audience loving him live. What the fuck are you talking about? I forgot about that. Exactly. You're making shit up.
If they really liked him, he'd be on The Masked Singer.
That's true. That's true. Masked Singer's huge. But I will say you got to admit that the jackhammer was fucked up, and yeah, it was. It was a suplex.
He was tired, and he's a heavy guy. He's Husky Bray, and he's 53 years old.
Yeah.
There's only so much he can do.
Absolutely. And
he probably shouldn't be wrestling. Yes,
he's
we'll all
old
say
and
it.
brittle.
And I'm pretty sure that stupid masks add like 10 pounds to fat ass Bray.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Like, I'll agree. He probably shouldn't be wrestling. Let's agree with that. However, he's still doing what is working, and the crowd likes it. So, therefore, he should be, because that's how it fucking works.
That crowd.
I think the majority.
Yeah, no, SmackDown booed him. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll get more into that as we get closer to our WrestleMania build-up and preview and stuff. We'll talk more about the actual WrestleMania with Roman Reigns, that is, not Rowan. But just closing out the show here, we do have a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. I just want to brush on the matches real quick before we get out of here. I just want to gauge your guys' interest.
Real quick, did Bomber? Did you ever say whether you liked it or not?
I think throughout the thing I said I could see both ways. I definitely.
Yeah, but I would.
Did you like it though?
Which was your way? Because you got more of a your background is a little more wrestling Southern. You're a Goldberg guy growing up. I
like Goldberg.
I was curious.
I was a WCW guy. I think we all know that. As far as I've expressed, I was a WCW guy over WWE back in the day during the time.
Yeah. I'm honestly curious whether or not you liked it.
I didn't hate it. I did like the Bray Wyatt character. I like the Fiend. I don't feel that he got buried. I feel very meh about it. I like Goldberg. I think he's gonna have.
You would. Fucking Southern motherfucker.
What the? Were you baiting me into saying that?
The South ain't really big on the Jews, just so you know.
Just baiting me over here. Jeez. Oh, man. But no, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was a very meh moment. I was surprised. I did think The Fiend was going to win, mainly because I didn't think Goldberg was going to walk into WrestleMania with the goddamn title. Fucking very surprised about that. I like surprises. I wasn't over the top about it. I didn't hate it. I was very almost as middle of the fucking road you can be, which in sometimes that's not a very good thing when it comes to wrestling. So,
yeah, all right, cool.
I know it's not a very good answer, but I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
I think it's a fine answer.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I am looking forward to his match at WrestleMania though. Spear versus Spear, baby. Spear versus Spear.
I'm not going to let you forget because you were starting to go there until I jumped in. I do apologize for that, but you were mentioning the women's title match.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Me and Zion got into a little bit about the women's title match and it being, important, not important. It doesn't matter, that kind of stuff.
The comparison was basically how you said this is a big deal. And he said, no, it's a throwaway. And I understood both points because we've been talking about it, how they've had a women's match and now it's a title match for the women in Saudi Arabia. That is a very big thing that they weren't even allowed at the prior shows. So that's like, this is moving forward, progressive in as far as for their entertainment.
Not really, though.
Let me fucking finish it.
There it is. There it is. He's fired up. Yes, let's get it.
I am in a bad mood and I'm trying to fucking say it.
Here it is.
No, I should just drop. I'm sorry. No.
What?
Like
you can't go do that and not follow it up.
Fine. What I'm trying to say is it's not progressive for the country. Fuck no. It's progressive for the fact that the company allowed it to happen and the country did let that happen. It's entertainment. It's what it is. Am I trying to say the country's changing? No. But every little step changes. Go back and listen to us 3-4 years ago. We said this exact fucking thing.
That's probably true.
Bomber and I said that.
That's probably true.
What this match, though, is it's a fucking house show throwaway event from the grand overall perspective. And that's why the match doesn't matter to the public. That's why Zion said it's a shit build, because what's it fucking matter? It's on a nothing event in that perspective.
Sure.
That's what I was trying to say.
And that's true. And to his point as well is, yes.
And I apologize. I'm losing my shit. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all good. And to his point, I have to agree. Yes, they are going to go out there. It wasn't going to be a barn burner type match. They didn't have this big story going into it. Yes, they were going to be wearing shirts, long sleeve shirts and pants and stuff.
And they were ragging on people. People were ragging on that. They'll be covered up. It's going to look horrible and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, it's either or. So that's what it is right now. And eventually it won't be that. And then they'll move on from there. And yeah.
To what I was saying, like even the last Saudi show and this coming into this one was when you watch the Natty and Lacey Evans match, like you saw they were fucking like Natty was like crying before the match started. You could see how much it meant to her. Like they were showing women in the crowd. I mean, I don't know how authentic all of that stuff was, but
they're called concubines.
Jesus Christ!
It was legit, Bomber. They're seeing hope for the.
After the match, they got out. Yeah, after the match, they got out. They were hugging him. It looked like it meant so much to him and stuff. And like, that's the whole point that I was kind of coming into it with. Like, yes, they had a first women's match. Now the first women's title match, they actually see the girls coming out with the belt like the guys. I know. I'm not stupid enough to think that WWE is going to fix Saudi Arabia's women treatment problem that they have.
By the way, though, could you imagine if they did?
I mean, that would be weird.
In 10 years, we're going to be like, bro, that Triple H, I can't believe he won another Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, but no.
It's no joke because they were not allowed originally, like, period. And, like, that you cannot, like, they had to apologize because they ran an ad for the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, I think it was back then, that had women in it, and they had to apologize for it being broadcast. That's the level we were at. They weren't even in the arena. That was on the screen. Yeah. And now they were not only in the arena, Lana coming out as well in a full gown type thing, but they actually wrestled. And again, for a championship, a thing of prestige. We were laughing in the chat because Bayley had short hair, and that's a thing. Even like the number of cultural differences that they don't give a fuck about versus what they do. It's like, that's kind of crazy that they actually were able to do that.
Yeah.
It is a big deal in and of itself.
It's a PR campaign.
I mean,
but it's still
that's true. That's true. Look, there's two different ways to look at it. It's a glass half full, half empty type situation. It really is. Like you can either look at it as WWE really doesn't care. They don't give a fuck about anything. They just want to like make themselves look good, which it could very well be that way. Or hey, maybe they actually.
I guarantee, no matter what it is, that's part of it.
It's the Saudis who want to make themselves look good. That's why they brought WWE over in the first place.
Well, then, true. That is
and
true.
This is why they're letting them do this. You know, it's the Saudis trying to make themselves look good.
It's a harmless, scripted way to make it look good.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. I mean,
absolutely.
But it's still allowed because in their culture, women don't do that.
So
and they did. So that is still a thing.
So Rab,
yeah, but can the women there do that now? Like times have, you know, I guess it's, you know, will it actually change anything, or is it more, you know, PR for the Saudi royal family who's trying to do more business in, you know, quote unquote first world countries?
But
you know, public business.
I see what you're saying, and either way, it still gives like I think it still like gives people hope, and it still like makes them feel good, right? I mean, I assume. I saw the women's
like
the women's faces.
A few guys didn't like it. Oh, there's one dude tried to screen grab.
But I mean, like, but those aren't even like, you know, regular, you know, women from whatever. Those are also, you know, rich Saudi women.
Okay, I mean,
we're still talking about the, you know, the meritocracy.
True. I mean, I like I said, I'm not here to say that they're changing the world or anything. I just think it was a cool and kind of a big deal for like women and stuff.
I mean, it's something. I'm not going to.
Also, Natty cries a lot.
She does.
She really does. It's like her whole thing.
Yeah, that's.
It's one half of her whole thing. When she cries and she likes cats.
Yeah, she was like locking a submission move, and she was just smiling because she was just so fucking happy. I mean, it's just, I was like, "What are you doing, Natty? Come on, at least sell it a little bit." But yeah,
crying and cats.
But
once again, I will buy $10,000 in WWE stock if they solve Saudi Arabia.
Well, I don't think anybody is actually saying they will fix Saudi Arabia.
No, I don't think anyone is either. But
yeah,
they've done more than anyone else has.
Technically, that might be true. I'm not sure, but
they had 2 women's matches. No one else has had women do a thing yet.
That's possibly true.
Yeah. Take that, AEW.
Yeah. Well, let's look at it this way. They're AEW's women's division. I don't think they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So,
they might want that division to get stranded over Saudi Arabia.
Shots fired. Anyway, let's like I said, let's briefly talk about Elimination Chamber real quick before we get out of here. The main event. I assume it's the main event. I'm not sure, but it's being billed as the women's Elimination Chamber match. Funny enough, for the winner gets to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. You got Natty, the Crier, and the Cat Lady. You got Liv, you got Shayna Baszler, you got Asuka, you got Ruby Riott, and we got Sarah Logan, right? Yeah, Sarah Logan. I think it should be a fun match, but this is like the most predictable match of all time, right? Am I alone on this?
Absolutely. They've been building up Liv Morgan so much it's got.
Oh my god! God damn it! That's true. They have been. No, obviously, her, Ruby, and Sarah Logan are going to all eliminate each other. That's going to happen. Natty's going to be probably eliminated first, and then it's going to come down. It's going to come down to Asuka and Shayna Baszler. Asuka just apparently, I don't know if it was legit. Does anybody know if her injury was real or if it was kayfabe? She was
I have
supposed.
no idea. People
What was
were
her injury
assuming
supposed to be?
her wrist.
Yeah, she was supposed to face Shayna on Raw, but they said that she was injured, so Kairi Sane stepped in to face Shayna instead.
Yeah, I almost actually got into it with Boss for a second because I posted that about how they swapped it for Sane, and she said bait and switch. And I'm like, well, you don't know if it's bait and switch. Like, if it's an injury, it's like, no, it's probably fake or it's kayfabe, whatever. I'm like, you don't fucking know anything about that. Why are
Yeah.
you assuming the worst? And
I
that's,
don't know. Well, either way,
I mean, fair, but burn enough, that's what happens, and it is that a lot. But
yeah,
yeah, if she's injured, it's probably going to be Kyrie replacing her if that's the case.
yeah. I mean, either way, though, this is JRPL wise. You know, I'm just throwing out there. Obviously, top lock on Shayna Baszler. That's what I'm going with. I'm just, I think a lot of people are going to go that route, but I can't remember an Elimination Chamber match that has been this obvious. They have been just straight up Becky and Shayna builds. Like, even when Becky came out while they were all doing the contract signing, all the other girls were doing their own thing, and Shayna and Becky were the ones getting into it. It's like,
Well, because she wants Shayna, because Shayna bit her in the back of the neck.
oh, I know. I'm saying the buildup is Shayna and Becky, which I'm very surprised that they're going this route and having this match. Like,
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is if they want to do a bait and switch where it somehow becomes a three-way between them and Asuka.
Oh yeah,
that would be interesting. Well, then how is Shayna going to get put in? I guess she could be a Charlotte
That's what
Flair
I'm saying.
style and just get
No,
put
that's
in.
what I'm
Have something
saying.
on Raw. It happens all
That's
the
what
time.
I'm saying. Shayna, yeah, she just I want a match, or she beats up fucking Becky so bad that Becky relents and says, "Yeah, put her in the match too, because I want that bitch." And
Well, that'll be a swerve. That'll be a swerve because I'm telling you, I'm top locking Shayna right now. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But
Yeah.
it's like, the WWE, they could change their minds in a fucking
yeah,
second. So.
that's true. I didn't think Goldberg. This is a little bit different. Goldberg and Fiend was a little less obvious than this is, but I would never thought that. But running down, the card isn't completely finished yet, even though the show's like in just a couple days. Braun Strowman is in a 3-on-1 handicap match defending the Intercontinental title against Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn. Rab, do you have any thoughts on this one first?
nope.
Nope. Okay. Lee?
Seems like Braun's gonna win that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I have no thought. I'm like, yeah, Braun will win it, I guess. And
I forgot he was IC champ.
Yeah, he took it from Nakamura. What about you, Scott? Any feelings on this one?
I'm thinking Sammy's actually going to steal it.
Really?
That's actually the name that I was going to bring up. I am leaning towards Strowman winning, but the person that's standing out during all of this to me is Sami Zayn. He is so fucking good as a
Strowman will win it back at Mania, but he's going to take it here.
this.
Sammy's going to steal it out.
Sammy is so entertaining right now. I think he's always been entertaining, but as a manager right now, if you want to call him that, he kind of is Nakamura and Cesaro's manager, but he is
Mouthpiece more than he's wrestling still. He's not stopped. He's
Yeah,
no
I
manager.
didn't mean like it's hard to say.
He's
yeah,
just their second.
like sidekick almost type guy. Yeah, he is so entertaining as playing that mouthpiece type role. The only person I could see better than him right now is Paul Heyman, as far as getting out there and getting on the mic and being entertaining. Sami Zayn, I fucking love what Sami Zayn's doing right now. Cesaro just seemed, when they were doing the contract signing, another contract signing by the way, Cesaro just seems so like, why am I here? He's just like kind of thrown in, like they didn't know what they were going to do with Cesaro and just put him in with Nakamura and Zayn. Seems so out of place to me. Do you guys feel that too, or am I alone on that one?
That's random,
Yeah,
but he's good enough to make it work.
I don't know what they're doing with anybody, and I don't follow it close enough anymore to even know where half these people are. Like I just said, I was kind of surprised. I forgot that fucking Strowman was IC champ. Like, that's how much I pay attention to main roster shit anymore.
Yeah. One of the other matches that has been scheduled is the United States title match, Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo. Oh God, there it is.
How many matches has they had now?
How do you say it? How do you say it, Rab?
So how do you think it's? Take your time, and how do you think it's?
Humberto Carrillo. Carrillo.
You're really
Which
close.
one is it? You got 5 or 6 there.
Carrillo.
No, he's close, he's trying.
Carrillo.
It should be Carrillo.
Carrillo.
Two L's are a Y.
Oh, okay.
Yes, two L's next to each other are a Y, and two R's next to each other is a rolling R. I don't know if you can roll your R's.
I've been working on it with my Japanese, but I'm still not there.
Yeah, it's
When they announce him, it sounds startlingly like Alberto Del Rio.
It does sound.
It really does.
It definitely does sound like Alberto Del Rio. Yeah, but
Alberto Carrillo.
Yeah,
it's Carrillo.
yeah. But these guys have been going back and forth a little bit. I would not. I mean, I don't think Andrade is going to drop the title, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
If he didn't drop it before his suspension, he's not dropping it now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would be surprised if he dropped it.
It would be weird to come back.
I would be
just to
surprised
drop
if he
it.
dropped it here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. If this was WrestleMania, I'd be less surprised about it. But I'd be slightly surprised if he dropped it at No Way Out or whatever this is called.
No Way Out. Elimination Chamber.
Thank you. I legitimately couldn't. It just wasn't coming to me.
Oh, by the way, I think they are bringing Backlash back this year. I think I saw that. I may be wrong on
Giant
that.
hooks or nothing. No giant hooks. I don't give a
Those
fuck.
were the best. Oh my god. The tag team titles are on the line. The Raw tag team titles. Sorry, the Street Profits, the brand new champions, defending against Rollins and Murphy, getting their rematch that apparently they don't do
What
anymore.
they put the fucking titles on the Street Profits?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had the
just
match.
now.
Yeah, they had the match in Saudi, where Murphy and Rollins won against the Street Profits, and then on Raw, the Street Profits took the titles this past Monday. So,
Woof.
you don't know any of the champions right now, do you?
No, I was last time I saw the Street Profits, they were still doing really hokey, stupid skits in the back.
Those hokey skits are great.
No, they're wrestling and the crowd likes them. So
Yeah, they're okay. They're
It's
decent.
working.
I'm not. I feel like they're just missing something. I don't hate them. I'm very meh for me. I don't hate them. Don't like them. They're kind of like. They're close, but I feel like they're definitely missing something.
you know what it feels like to me? It almost feels like we might be too old to like that gimmick.
Oh,
It's
don't
literally-
start that. Don't start.
No,
that.
but it
I don't
feels
know.
like that.
It's
like
it's connecting with me, guys.
yeah,
I love it. I love that and Snapchat. And
There-
Kick.
yeah,
my
no, there's
God.
a bit of it where I'm like,
Kick.
I don't quite get it, but it's really clicking. I'm like, oh no, does that mean I'm too old? It might be one of
Honestly,
those.
I really think that might be a problem.
Rab, you need to drop your TikTok link for us.
Exactly. Their whole gimmick is not unlike a lot of shit that like my little cousins like.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly-
it's sobering, right? But it's
honestly-
like that's probably all it is.
Honestly,
I know WWE is more, sliding
I'm
towards
I'm
the.
younger than these fucking Canadians and shit. So
Yeah, but I don't know.
we're younger than these Canadians, Bomber. So,
Yeah,
so-
but to me, as far as this match on who's going to win, I'd be fucking blown away that Rollins and Murphy if they won. No way they win, in my eyes. This could be another
I
top
am
rock.
right.
Back, probably not. No.
I also don't think they'll win. No.
No, because I thought this is another confusion thing. I thought we were getting Rollins and Owens heading into WrestleMania, but then all of a sudden Owens is coming
We
out with.
are.
Well, I was
He cost them the title,
true, but also
and
we
he
had
said he's not done with Rollins.
true, but we also had him getting involved
True.
in the whole Randy Orton situation, which I'm really excited about going into WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, just because he's defending Edge. That's all.
I don't know. It just seems like they don't know what to do with Owens either, so they're throwing him into multiple.
No, they know
things as
exactly
well.
what they're doing with Owens. They needed a body with their before Beth. That's all, and they had a match. That doesn't mean the feud's derailed. So yeah, when it was supposed to be Taker and AJ, and then Black got involved. Oh, I guess that's the feud for Mania. No, it's the feud for Elimination Chamber. Like, there's doing stuff in between. Just calm down.
Yeah,
It's okay.
and guy feuds going on isn't necessarily a new thing in wrestling. Like that can happen.
Yeah, like Owens has been feuding with a bunch of guys anyway. He's still going to Mania with Rollins. That
Yeah,
seems.
I'm just saying he
like-
just seems a little muddy. That's all. He just seems a little muddy.
That's fine. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
He just fight a bunch of people.
I don't know. All right, so you brought it up, AJ and Aleister Black, no DQ match. I think this has Undertaker getting involved all over it. I think I'm leaning towards Aleister Black getting a major win here. This, on paper, this match to me is like match of the night. I want to see this match more than any other match in the card, me personally. What are you guys feeling? Scott, what do you think about this AJ and Aleister Black match?
Super good potential with that. It's kind of a match. I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. No DQ should be great, but it's going to have OC shenanigans. So It'll be what it is.
And I think who do you think is going to win? Because I'm feeling OC's going to get involved. Taker's going to
AJ.
come out, lay them all out. Oh, you think AJ's going to win?
Well, he's got to look strong to go against Taker. So
I agree 100%.
Oh,
He can't lose before he goes and does take.
No,
it.
he's challenged. He
that-
said, "I am the best one there is. I'm the best there's ever
That's a good
been. I'm
point.
from any generation." And then Taker came out and pinned him in that gauntlet, which was the weirdest aspect of that. I thought he just attacked him.
yeah.
He's got to be able to back that up because AJ is the kind of guy where he's a cocky prick, but he still
Yeah.
beats motherfuckers. Like he is the kind of heel where he's not just all talk. He actually beats everybody, and even as a bad guy, people know this guy's good.
Yeah.
So, like, would losing to Black be a problem for him? Not at all. But if he's going against Taker, the best of the best, like as he put it, legend of legends, yeah, he shouldn't be losing to Aleister Black a month prior.
I see what I do agree with that, but I still think
Could he lose and could he cost him and go after that? Sure, but
Yeah.
he really
still think
should.
Undertaker's going to like fucking destroy him and then.
Oh, he'll be involved, but
Yeah.
no, he's not gonna. Yeah,
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see. So, Rab, who do you see? You see AJ also getting the win here?
Yeah, 100% for the exact reasons that he just said.
Okay, Lee, what are you thinking?
I feel like 90% of that match is going to be kicks, and then the Undertaker's going to run in, and Aleister Black's going to look good, but he's going to lose by DQ.
he's
Yeah.
not
For the
gonna
record-
run.
For the record, look, for the record,
He is not going to run. Yes.
The Undertaker will walk in. There's
Yes,
no
good-
way he's running.
Well,
Good
yeah,
call.
you know,
Rab
you
and
know,
I with the same joke at the same time.
Yeah.
Excellent.
yeah, you know,
Good call.
Bad choice of words there for
So,
Man. Yeah.
yeah.
so
But,
there's only
Honestly, you're probably right because he did that the last time. He interfered in the match and took Ray's place. So,
yeah. All right. So the only other match that is scheduled right now is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match. We haven't seen the tag team title elimination chamber match in like 5 years or something like that. It's been a while.
There's only been the one, right?
Yeah, there's only been one. I think New Day won. New Day won that.
That's right. Yeah.
So-
That's when they won it back from the primetime players. That's when their reign started.
Yep.
The second reign that went that long. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the first one in a long time here. We got tag teams. We got the Usos. We have the champs, Miz Morrison, which I for some reason I was slightly surprised they won them. I thought they would win them at WrestleMania or getting maybe closer to WrestleMania, but either way, I still like them as champs. New Day's in it. We got Ziggler and Bobby Roode, who still are kind of hanging around together.
Robert.
Yeah, he's been Robert Roode for.
I said
Robert
Bobby, didn't I? I
Roode.
said Bobby, didn't I? I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
it's a technically. I'm
That-
not going to be
that-
the guy to say like Dean Ambrose. I'm not that.
That was my impact speaking.
Robert.
Yeah, we got Heavy Machinery, and then we got I'm sorry, I don't know their tag team name. Do they have a tag team name? Grand Metalik and the
Lucha House Party.
What are you talking about?
oh, okay. I didn't know they were still a thing. Sorry, I didn't.
They're the Lucha Duplex.
Yeah, I didn't know they were legit still.
They're still
called
they're
that.
still going by Lucha House Party.
Okay, I honestly didn't know that.
They have been for the last couple of years.
Okay, well.
Host.
There you go. So, I guess Scott, who do you see walking out of this? What do you expect from this match here?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Usos did it, but I'm kind of thinking Miz and Morrison. I don't see them losing the belts after a week.
Yeah, that would be.
So, but again, it's the chamber, so you couldn't really put it past them because it's that.
Yeah, it's the champ.
But I mean, Heavy Machinery, they might come close and lose it, and then go to challenge at Mania. Machinery versus Miz and Morrison, probably the way to go. But Miz and Morrison's probably going to keep
Well,
it.
first of
That's
all,
the safe bet.
if I will cry if we don't get a Dolph Ziggler and Otis match at WrestleMania, I will cry.
Oh,
Because they're doing some great stuff. I love Otis. I love the whole thing they're doing with Mandy Rose. It's good stuff there. Rab, do you have any thoughts on this? Who do you think is going to win?
I don't think it will be Heavy Machinery because I do think they'll go somewhere. Well, I mean, I guess it could be Heavy Machinery and then them take on Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode later at WrestleMania. That's possible. No, I think the winners will be one of the big tag teams. The champions or New Day or Usos.
Yeah, those are the three favorites there. What
Which
do you
one? I don't know. It's the Chamber. You never know.
the chamber? What do you think, Lee? Who do you think is going to walk out with the belts?
Let's say Miz and Morrison. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think this has potential to be. I think it's going to be way better than the first tag team elimination chamber match because I don't remember that being very good at all. Nothing really stood out to me. I think this one has potential with Usos in it. Usos to me are one of the best tag teams going right now in wrestling. Period. It is. I know that might be a controversial statement, but especially with the AEW tag division. But I think the Usos are one of the best tag teams in 2020 right now. So I don't think they win here. I don't think they're going to win. But I think they are going to lead to a Usos and Miz and Morrison tag match at WrestleMania, where I think the Usos may win there. But I think Miz and Morrison are going to end up getting the win in the chamber here. I just don't see them losing the belts that fast. It would be surprising. Same as it would be surprising if the other tag team titles switched. I'd be more surprised about that, But yeah, and guys, that's all the matches scheduled. I'm sure they're going to put in Roman Reigns somewhere. He's probably going to face Baron Corbin, even though they said they'll never face each other again.
Ugh.
It is one of the first shows in a long time where neither world title is even there, let alone like in a non-title, but neither champion is on the card.
Yeah, this to me, I think is going to be one of those shows where on paper it's like, okay, I mean that should be an okay show, and I think this is going to be the one that was like, wow, that was a good show. That was a really good show. I think the women's elimination chamber match is going to be very good. I think the tag team one's going to be very good. Can't wait to see AJ and Aleister Black. The handicap match is going to be probably fun with Sammy in there. I mean, I like Braun Strowman. Cesaro's amazing. Nakamura. How is Nakamura like the weak link of those four guys? I don't understand. To me, anyway. I don't know.
I don't think he's. What are you talking about? Sammy's the weak link because he's been the least active wrestler in a while.
Well,
Sammy's the smaller guy.
Nakamura's
a multi-time champion. From how they portray it, Nakamura is the multi-time champion who has been champ for a long time.
Yes.
Cesaro is a badass who can fight anybody. And Zayn's the little guy running his mouth hiding behind them. He's the weak link.
Correct. In kayfabe-wise, he is definitely the weak link. I meant like my interest value in this match, like Nakamura is almost, I'm to the point almost where I'm just like, I really don't care about Nakamura anymore.
That's not what you'd call a weak link, though. That just means you don't care.
Yeah, that's just because you're racist.
Fuck, God damn it. Literally. Okay, there it is. I was waiting for somebody to pull that out. But in the other match.
You're from the South, so.
Hey, I do live in Texas now, so I went even farther south.
Yeah, that's real suspect.
Even farther.
Went there for a new job, huh?
Uh-huh.
You're a good old boy network going on.
There you go. Hey, I do work for Fox, so leave that there. Leave that there.
Yeehaw!
It's only getting worse. But I think that's where we're going to leave it today, guys. We covered a lot of topics here. I do hope we can get some more episodes in as we've done the last several years. Once we get to, closer to WrestleMania season, which is kind of, we're like right there. I try to hopefully talk these guys into showing up once a week instead of our bi-weekly as we build up to WrestleMania. Maybe we can pull it off. We'll see. We're going to try at least.
Now that we've moved to Wednesdays, I'm much more available. So
yes, we've changed our record date for those if you didn't hear that on the last episode. So yeah, that's it, guys. We'll see how the chamber shakes out. I think it's going to be a pretty good show overall. I'm excited about it. I don't know. We'll see. Does anybody got anything to plug before we go out? Because I will plug a little bit of something at the end. Lee, do you got anything to plug?
No.
No, you're not even going to plug all the you're like on 20 podcasts right now. You don't even want to plug some of your other podcasts?
Yeah, but we don't have another hour, pal.
Well, oh, geez, there it is. Okay. What about you, Scott? You got anything to plug?
I'll plug Lee's podcast. Go listen to his stuff. But also my stuff, guiltypleasurecinema.com. I'm also, if you know Cammy Cat from our Discord, she's running a role-playing game on stream, and I'm part of that. So that's a fun thing to check out as well. Cammy Cat 86 over on Twitch has been fun. It's live Monday nights. Check out the VOD for that. And also, I'm going to plug my apology for losing my shit earlier. That's a good thing to
oh, no. I like it. I like it. I like it.
I know you like it, but I don't. That's the problem.
I understand.
Well, how about your new version of Would You Talk? It's not Would You Talk anymore.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a thing I did this week. Yeah. JRPL Frontline. It's our kind of backstage, etc. show for the JRPL itself on replacing Would You Talk. And it is going forward. We're trying to make it weekly. It's Bear Me Jesus and I. About an hour instead of our usual 3, if Bomber remembers correctly.
Yeah, they would get pretty because we wouldn't do them for like once every 4 months. So there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, no, we'll do like a little story stuff and try to get exclusive stuff on that and try to really get things going with the character chat as well. and just have fun with it and try to make it more active and going. And that's part of why it's nothing against Woody. Don't anybody think about that. But just it was infrequent because he just couldn't make it all the time, which made it hard to do. So calling it Woody Talk didn't work. So we move on from that, and it's Frontline. So yeah.
Okay, cool deal. And Rab, I know you got a lot to plug, especially your TikTok. Let's hear it.
I would like to plug the coronavirus. Real into it. I think it'd be great if I could get the coronavirus now. Well, no, I mean, think about it. Look, we're all gonna get the coronavirus. So I knock it out now.
I'm not getting it.
Take like 2 weeks off work. Sick time. I got to tell my boss, Tom, all right, Tom, I can't come to the office. Coronavirus. Stay home. Get a little sick. I'm a young man. I'm healthy.
I see where this is.
And then afterwards, just travel, bro. Cheap ass flights to Milan. Long cruises. Just travel on a budget.
Because nobody's flying, so you maximize.
No one's flying. No one's flying to fucking Italy, Shanghai Disney. I've always wanted to go there. I'm sure I can get there for cheap.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great. I think everyone who's listening, this is the inside scoop. I'm giving our listeners the inside scoop. Get coronavirus now.
I think he's on.
There's a new case. If there's anyone in Texas, there's a new case right outside Sugarland in whatever county that is, Fort something or other. I don't remember.
Wait, there's a new case. There's a case in Texas.
Yeah. There's a bunch of cases in Texas.
Oh my lord!
Thunder Bay is confirmed to not have any. We tested, so we're good here.
They've all been around San Antonio, but now there's a case right outside of Houston.
Oh, that's good.
For the record, WWE has said outright we are not planning to cancel, move, or postpone WrestleMania. We are aware of what's happening in the Tampa area, but we are okay.
Well, I will say this: Ultra, which happens around the same time. I don't know if you guys know about Ultra Music.
I do not.
It's might be the biggest EDM music festival that happens every year down here in Miami. It's fucking enormous. Yesterday they said they weren't going to cancel it. Then about 2 hours ago they said they were postponing it indefinitely.
There you go. I know a lot of companies are pulling out of conventions and shit. And
Google I/O canceled. Google canceled their big I/O event. It's going to be web only.
Well, I don't think they can't cancel WrestleMania, can they?
Of course they can.
Yeah, they can. Absolutely. They can move it. They moved it because of Sergeant Slaughter death threats. They can move it for other reasons.
Oh.
Man. They can cancel it.
Yeah.
Bring it to Dallas, baby.
E3 is probably going to end. And
can you imagine if the governor of Florida said, "Hey, the CDC is starting to say this is a danger." You think they're going to be like, sorry?
Nah, we're still going to bring 80,000 people from around the world into one building. It's going to be great.
Dude.
Dude.
Vince McMahon's going to be like, "Goddamn, pal."
Oh my God. I just thought of something. If
Vince
they...
isn't...
Sorry, what's up?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, think about if they moved like WrestleMania to just any Philly, wherever. Think of all of the indie shows that are all booked down there in Tampa. Like that is going to destroy all of their, because they plan on all of the wrestling fans to be there in the area for that time.
A lot of them might end up canceling those shows anyway because of the fucking virus anyway.
That would be...
New Japan canceled like 2 weeks of events.
That'd be rough.
Yeah. But the mud shows, goofs, they're pretty dumb. So maybe we could wipe out a lot of mud shows in North America. In one
I'm sure they could move it. I'm sure they could move it to North Korea. If the price is right.
Weren't you trying to avoid the virus?
Those poor citizens of North Korea, they got it rough enough as it is. Come on now.
They don't have the virus in North Korea. North Korea is perfect. It's a utopia. It's great, and no one's sick. South Korea, the bad Korea. That Korea, is in trouble.
Well, they definitely have it. So
the fearless, glorious leader has let us all know that 0.0 people have the coronavirus.
Goddamn, I had something I wanted to.
Be fair, that's
it's like us because
no one can get in, no one can get out.
Well, we had testing done here. It was on the radio. Thunder Bay has had 6 cases tested, and they've all come back negative. So there's no virus here. It's safe here.
Yeah.
Shut up.
This is gonna turn into.
Just get it now.
This is going to turn from a wrestling podcast into a fucking zombie coronavirus podcast at some point.
Here's the best part, because if I understand it correctly, YouTube is actually demonetizing anything and everything and flagging videos that say coronavirus, even if you're talking about it.
Well, so here goes our video.
Just don't put it in the title.
Yeah, I won't tag it. But it picks up on all of our words. It decodes like everything. It's weird. The YouTube algorithm's crazy.
Fine.
Even words that sound like words, if it catches a word that even sounds like
talking about getting hammered, it's Corona. What?
Yeah, But I had something. What the fuck? What the fuck? I had something I was gonna plug, but I completely forgot. You got. I know Peanut is going to be at the Elimination Chamber live.
And that's where he will get coronavirus.
That's where Peanut will get the coronavirus, at the Elimination Chamber this weekend. He said he was going to film something. I'm not counting on it, but I'm gonna try to remind him. He says he's going to film live reactions so we can post them up on YouTube.
He's going to be drinking he's going to be drinking Blue Moons in the parking lot.
How amazing! I would pay to watch drunk Peanut reacting to a live wrestling show. I'm just saying, that's what I would pay for it. But I'm going to try to remind him. He said he would, but we'll see. We'll see if he does.
He's not so reliable.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, would any of us be surprised if, we find out on Sunday, like, oh no, I missed the Elimination Chamber?
Oh no, 100% not. I would be more surprised if he did go.
That was this weekend? Yeah.
I'd be more surprised if he did go, but he is planning on going. So hopefully we can get some footage of live reactions from Peanut at the Chamber this weekend. And I was hoping that we could get some more content about, he has the backyard wrestling stuff ready to go. We need to schedule out a time for us to all sit down and watch Peanut's underage backyard wrestling. Okay.
Don't say underage.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God.
No, I want to watch Peanut's underage video.
No, God. You're right. I fucking
the underage videos with Peanuts.
I ruined it all.
We're not just demonetized now. We're on a list.
Stop saying underage.
Underage peanut.
No,
stop saying that like that. It's gonna not sound like the word peanut if you say it too many times.
So here we are, guys.
Nuts. What?
So anyway, follow us on Twitter if you guys want to get in arguments with me, because apparently I'm getting in more and more as the days go on Twitter at Jobber Radio. We will talk all kinds of stuff on there. Follow us on I was going to say Instagram, but I really don't use that much, so don't do that.
We have
the Gram's the best. We have an Instagram. Can I run it? I love the Gram.
If you really want to run it,
you're young, you're hip. Let him have it.
I do. I'm all about the Gram.
I will 100%.
No.
I will 100% give you the password to it.
I will plug. Let's plug the Gram.
Let's play. Well, it's just search Jobber Radio. It's on there. Just Jobber Radio.
But you need his password to get into it.
Yeah, I'm not going to get it on air.
Give it to me now on the air.
No, do it. Do it now.
No. And the one thing that I am always going to plug, guys, Jobber Radio Prediction League, jobberradio.com. Click right on the top. Join the Prediction League. Fill out the stuff. It's easy to do. If you get confused, there's videos that even help you out right there on the thing. But it's simple as shit.
Try reading the fucking rules.
Yeah,
people.
Read the rules.
Yeah.
Also, we do talk about it a bit, like how this stuff works and the history of things now, how stuff kind of evolves. So
yeah,
there's a lot of information out there.
Can we name this episode Male Rage?
Male Rage?
Yes.
From where do you get that name from?
Why the fuck do you want to call it that?
From fucking Scott earlier,
we're gonna
flying off the handle.
We're
Scott flies off the fucking handle.
I think we're gonna call it Underage Peanuts. I think that's gonna be.
No.
Yes. Okay. Maybe Male Rage will be better. We'll see. But anyway, we're getting out of here. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Who knows? Maybe we'll even show up next week. We'll find out. But at least 2 weeks from now, we'll definitely
We'll be back tomorrow.
That's not right.
No, this won't even be recorded yet.
Yep. All right. So we'll see you guys on the next episode. Have a good night or day.
Come on, Dory, get the coronavirus.
Oh my
It's in
God.
Texas.
Oh my God.